Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to Wednesday evening, 5 p.m. marriage class.
That's right. Here on HARTbeat, that's the name of our little program here. I'm
Yes.
Butch Hartman. This is Julieann Hartman, and we're here. We are your marriage. I guess I want to say counselors. We're your marriage guides. I guess you would say we're your guides through the world of marriage, and especially being a Christian in marriage and being in a marriage that lasts. We are hoping you're out there in a marriage that lasts, or if you're currently in a marriage you hope will last, or if you haven't been in a marriage that lasts, we just want to help you maybe walk through some ways you can learn how to make your marriage last. We have, been through a lot of things, haven't we?
We have, yes.
Yes.
And it's interesting because sometimes you just don't want to bring up old thoughts and stuff, because it's like, who wants to talk about that? Because it brings up old feelings and all
that's
that.
one thing about being married is feelings are like an everyday thing, and guys don't want to talk about their feelings.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just not something we're not wired to.
Okay. I know.
I don't think there are some.
Well, that's not true. We mean wired.
Well, I mean,
you know why I say that?
Why?
Because God made us all, right? So he made us to be able to want to communicate with him.
Him, not my wife. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm here to communicate with God, but my wife's a different story. And guys, listen, I'm not saying we don't talk to our wives, but men don't want to go into an emotional conversation for 3 hours. We just don't want to do that. We'd rather go do what we're assigned to go do, as opposed to talk about our feelings. If you guys agree with me out there, let me know right now. Who do we got on right now? We got
Sonia, hello, and Tyler.
And Arlene from New York. Guys, we're so glad to see you here right now. We got 22 people on. If you guys are here right now, have any questions about marriage, if you have any questions about getting married, or maybe you got divorced, or anything that's troubling you right now,
for a second or third time.
Yeah, shoot us a question right here in the chat. We would love to answer those questions for you. So right now we've had an interesting week. And
well, first I want to do some plugs.
Okay, yep, go right ahead. Yes.
Right. So yesterday, my teaching on healing journeys today was awesome. It was our last teaching. It was actually like an interview / teaching with Teresa Hoesch, because she's now moving on to do her own stuff.
That's right.
With Fully Known Ministries, which is her and her husband's ministry. And then she came on to our last class. And we have what's exciting is that we've got our conference, and we are filling up big time. Do you know that overnight, from Thursday to Friday, we had over 100 people sign up?
That's amazing.
That was cool. I don't even know what happened.
When and where is the conference?
So the conference is in Georgetown, Texas, which is right outside of Austin. And it's October 15th and 16th. If you want to go, remember, this is going in person, means you have to go to healingjourneystoday.com and register to come in. It's free. It's totally free.
Yep.
But we just need to know
if you're coming,
that we need a seat for you.
Right.
Because we are limited on seats, and we don't want to, hold a seat that you're not coming to. So if you're planning on watching it online, just come. Don't worry about it. Just come. Watch online.
And you
do not need to register to watch it online.
Yeah, and you can still watch it online, but you know what? Sometimes when you make the effort to go somewhere personally, it pays off in many different ways, because you get to
also. You never know what happens in a live situation. That's what I love.
I was just going to say, you really owe it to yourself to get out there and meet people and make new friends. With COVID and this pandemic, a lot of people have locked themselves away because they were told to, and a lot of people, are in their houses a lot more these days. But we really want to encourage you, if you can, to come live to the conference, because it's in Texas, and we're going to all be there. Julieann and myself will be there. Everybody on Healing Journeys Today, this platform, will be there live in person.
They cannot
meet
wait.
Us all.
Yeah, they cannot wait to see you all too. I know that they all tell you when they're teaching, but we have our Friday meeting. It's a team meeting every Friday, and everybody just is like, oh my gosh, we can't wait to see everybody. So just know it's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. And Angela says she's coming to the conference. Yay!
Awesome.
Oh, wait, Lojo, you already live in Georgetown? Tell me that you have already signed up to come.
Well, I hope Lojo better be there. If they, I can't tell if it's a he or she.
And Valdo is here too. Valdo
Nice.
came to the park.
Oh,
on
Valdo,
Sunday.
we missed you at our park service because we weren't there this week. We were actually ministering to an awesome family this last Sunday.
We spent the day with the family.
An amazing family.
And yeah, they're just awesome. And so it was a great day for us.
And again, guys, that's an example of, we could have just done a Zoom call with this amazing family, but we opted to go there personally because there's just something different when you show up personally and you encounter someone face to face and are able to speak to them and just be in the presence of someone who has maybe an anointing around them or has a great bit of wisdom. It's great to be there in person. That's also why, and the title of today's message is, why doesn't my spouse think just like me?
Why?
That I don't know.
Why?
I could have sworn when I got married, my spouse was going to think just like I did.
Me too.
You'd want to watch Star Wars 100 times just like me. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do something like that.
Before we get into the message, can I just plug one more thing?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay.
That's fine.
Friday.
See right there. Doesn't think like me.
Friday, October 1st starts Allison Rolla. She is our beautiful speaker, who's going to be our guest speaker for the month of October. And she was the one I had on the journey where she had alopecia universalitis or something like that. What? I don't know.
She lost all her hair.
Yes. But
this beautiful young girl lost all of her hair.
But she got healed and she got all her hair back. But
she
is an amazing teacher. You are going to love her. She's the month of October. And then we have our last episode with Dr. Elizabeth Vaughn on Saturday.
This coming Saturday?
Yep, this coming Saturday. And it's so good. And so anyway, that's all my plugs. But now getting back to, why don't you think like me?
I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, listen, guys, if you're a guy out there and you're married to your spouse, woman, if you have any questions about how your wife thinks and why she thinks differently, please put them in the chat. And if you're a woman out there who wants to know why your husband could care less about what you think, or if you're thinking that about your husband, why doesn't he care about my thoughts? Put it in the chat because we have a lot to say about that. Hopefully we'll get through it all today.
And Michelle was just saying that her husband passed away 5 years ago.
I'm so sorry, Michelle.
I'm so sorry to hear that. And I mean, gosh, it's
terrible.
Like, I tell you something, sometimes we don't realize how precious a relationship is with a spouse. Yeah. And then when it's not there, you want it back so badly, but the person's already gone, but you are going to see them in heaven. But still, that's why, we made that title be a little, dicey so that you'd be like, wow, what does that mean? Actually, I had a better title, but Butch said I couldn't put it up there.
It was a little... I was a little too mean. It was like my husband's an idiot.
No,
like
it was. I hate when you do that. Don't you guys prefer that title? I hate when you do that.
We could always change it. We could always edit it. Yeah. I hate when you do that. That's the title of our no.
Right. So the nicer version of it was, why doesn't my spouse think like I do? That is such a good question because we really do. Men and women think very differently. Number one, but also just because man and woman, I mean, personalities think very differently.
Every person thinks differently from every other person.
Yeah. And, but let's let me ask you a question. When Lojo said she will be there.
Yay, Lojo.
When you realize, I mean, let me ask you a question. Did you know right away that you and I had nothing in common?
Well, when we were first dating each other, we had a few things in common. We both liked acting, went to a lot of acting classes, and we liked each other, and that was about it. But we didn't have a lot of common interests. Like, I don't know, I draw cartoons all day long. That's all I love, and I love entertainment stuff. And you weren't really into that type of stuff. It was funny because you were an actress.
I want to be an actress, but I didn't care about it.
I know, but then you tricked me because when we got married, you got all into fitness. And had I known you were going to be a fitness freak when we got married, I don't know if I would have married you because I would work out because I wanted to stay in shape, but I wasn't as passionate.
A fanatic?
Let's use the word passionate because it's a nicer word.
Right.
But I didn't know you were going to be the enthusiastic workout champion that you are. And so I would have gone like, oh, I could never be with a person like that. Because I just wasn't into going to the gym for 8-9 hours like you were. And you did go to the gym for quite some time. So that was a difference we had.
And also too, I went to the gym because I was trying to escape my own, fears,
I also didn't know that either. I didn't know that because I didn't have the intelligence or the experience to decipher that when we were married. I mean, when we first got married.
Yeah, we first got married or dating.
Both. I mean, because before we got married, it wasn't that big of a deal. But then we got married, and I never saw you because you were at the gym all the time.
Right.
I kept going, we're married, but I never see her.
And so, and all I could
unless I went to the gym.
Right, but all I can think of is, why isn't he here with me? Why isn't he doing all the things that I wanted to do? And right, I mean, girls, come on, do we think that way? And it's like, and I'm not just talking about that. It's not just like, oh, we like to go to the same movies. Yes, that's great. But there's other things too or they don't like the same movies you do.
We definitely don't like the same movies now.
No, we don't.
For sure.
But there's things that you can start to like venture out with to come to see if each other.
Oh, and I did. I mean, when we first got married, the only way to see her was to go to the karate studio. So I would go to the karate studio. And I learned
Debbie's
karate.
out there right now. She understands.
I learned karate. I met everybody at the karate studio. They're now part of my family. My spiritual family. I mean, I've known these people for 30 years. And so I definitely reached out. Now, I don't recall you coming to the cartoon studio as much as the karate studio, but you did come. I did work there.
I used to come. But again, it was not, but I was a different person back then too.
True.
I was very selfish, didn't care anything about anybody else.
I was also very selfish.
Right, but myself. And so if it didn't benefit me, I didn't care about it. It didn't interest me. And so that was something that we had to learn how to do together, was to say that we were interested in what each other was interested in. And that even if we weren't, like, still to this day though, I mean, I just don't like TV shows. There's some shows I just watch because I know my husband loves.
I don't even watch TV shows anymore. Rarely.
I'm saying
back in the day.
All right, 5 years ago.
Not even 5 years ago. I mean,
let's
before
say
the internet, I'd watch a lot of TV.
No, but here's one thing.
Yes.
I don't like to watch shows, movies, TV shows, or whatever it is that is very violent before I go to bed.
True.
You don't care.
But I don't do that even before I go to bed.
But you used to.
I used to, yeah.
You used to.
Yeah.
And since I didn't want to, and it just really would affect me, because some people I believe are more sensitive than others. And it was kind of like that, not an argument, but it's like, you wish that we would have been a little more, like each other, and I would have been more.
Well, you weren't. Well,
with your movie selections.
Well, also, you wouldn't get home till late because of the gym.
Sweetie, but that was only before. That was before. I mean, that happened up until we had kids.
Right. Then we had kids.
So we got married in '92, and our first daughter was born in '95. You see, like, the trauma from him still. And I'm talking about. Okay,
you're not telling me you took those kids to the gym all the time too?
I did take the kids to
the gym,
but not when they were like tiny babies.
Okay, right. I'll give you that.
No, you're right. Listen, I am not sitting here saying that I did all the right things.
Me neither.
I'm
not saying you did all the right things either. I mean, I'm kidding. I'm not saying I did all the right things either. Listen, guys and girls, people, what I'm trying to say, I use that term guys, and people freak out when someone uses that sometimes, but we are just saying neither one of us are perfect. It was a very huge growth process for both of us. And if you're in a marriage or if you're in a relationship right now and you think everything is perfect, I hope it is. I really hope it is. If you want to stick with your marriage and grow, it's only going to make both of you stronger. So many people today are so quick to get out of the marriage that the first sign of any trouble, they're going to bail, they're going to get out. And that is a bad sign, because that shows that you're not going to want to put up with any sort of challenge or any sort of adversity. You're going to try and bail on everything. And the more you bail, the less likely you are to succeed at anything. It's the ones that hang in there and stick to the plan that succeed. Oh, and by the way, the plan that you have now is not going to be the plan you have 20 years from now. It's going to be a completely new plan. The plan is constantly altering and branching and changing. It's almost like a tree growing up. And as you ever see on a tree, like there's the big branches and the little branches and the little tiny branches, it gets like tinier and tinier and tinier. That's what your plan's going to be like as you go through life. You're going to grow. You're going to have a lot of different ways or paths you can take as you make decisions. Hopefully you can make them together.
Well, I mean, like, what things right now, I mean, you may not be able to answer this right this second, but what things that you wish I would just adjust and Just
you know what? To be honest
not put up an argument or a fight.
There's really not. Right now, we are pretty together on a lot of things right now. I think when I was younger,
we had to grow into that, though.
We did have to grow into that,
So let's talk about that, the growth that we had to both do to grow into that.
Well, here's the thing about what the Lord has done in our lives, and it's only through Jesus this happened, because two selfish people could never have stayed together as long as we've stayed together unless Jesus Christ was at the center of their lives. And Christ is the one who brings people together. He is he's the uniter. He is the restorer. He is our strong tower. He's our protector. He he's holds
our
us,
counselor.
And he holds us together. And when you're a selfish person, and by the way, if you're out there listening to this, there's been a time or two in your life you've been a selfish person. I don't mean to break that to you as a news flash, but all of us get to a point where I really wanted to go do this, and now it seems like it's changing, but we really had to learn, okay, if we're going to work together, because we work together every single day.
We do.
And I never thought that would ever happen.
Me either.
I never thought it would happen. I thought I'd just be doing my job. I'd come home. There'd be an amazing meal made for me. And we'll talk about that one later.
Have I still disappointed you?
No. I never expected you to cook for me ever, to be honest with you, because I was always so used. So we see the other thing too is we were both very independent people when we got married. We were very very self-sufficient because we were survivors of the chaotic situations we were brought up in.
Well, plus we want to be performers.
We did,
so
which is also which is also a very selfish thing to
Well, no, but what happens is that everything becomes about you.
That's what I meant. And I'm watching. I'll get reamed for this.
No, but
I can't believe Butch Hartman said.
You did not say that.
I did not say that.
Please,
exactly.
We're going to retract that right now.
Yes, I'm retracting.
He did not say that.
I didn't say it.
It's just that we were that way.
Yes.
Not anybody else. We know lots of actors that are not that way.
Right.
But we were performers and working in the industry, and so that was us. That was us. That wasn't anybody else. Mm-hmm. And some people can handle it. Some people can't. We couldn't. We let it go a little bit too far. But when Jesus came into our hearts, when the Word of God became first and foremost in our hearts, that's when everything changed. Because, it's like someone just wrote, I think it was, maybe it was Debbie. Somebody just said Jesus at the center of it all.
Debbie wrote that. There's Debbie's comment. Jesus at the center of it all, right?
Yes,
there.
And it's true. When Jesus is at the center of it all, that's when you can really see major change take place. But when Jesus is not the center of it all, and you are, or even you're making your job the center of it all, or a relationship outside your marriage the center of it all, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. It's a big problem, because then you're focused on something else and you're wondering, why doesn't my spouse think like I do? Why is my spouse doing this? Why does he do that? Why doesn't he, want to take care of me? Some people are watching, their spouse is the one that's the caretaker. Yeah. Why isn't he doing what I want him to do, or her? Why isn't she treating me the way that I want her to be? I want her to treat me. Mm-hmm. There is a lot. There's a lot of work involved, as we talked about last week. That's why we're kind of not done with the whole communication thing. But there's a lot of work to be done in a relationship when somebody is actually taking care of you, or you're taking care of them, because there might be some resentment. There might be some, I don't know, there might be some pain involved. Something traumatic could have happened to both of you, but one of you is the one that's suffering. So you don't know how to deal with it. It's like, who knows how to deal with sickness and disease if you've never had it before? Nobody.
I think Herman and Racquel taught a really good message the other day. They said, has the search for healing become your idol?
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if that's the exact topic title, but it was a really good.
I think it also was seek the healer, not the healer.
Yeah. And seeking the process. Oh my gosh, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. Same with marriage, seeking after the way to have a great marriage can become an idol. And, if we just stop being so, and listen, this goes for everybody. And I mean this, if we just stop being selfish as a spouse, we'll learn how to have a better marriage. Like, maybe you can do something for your spouse they weren't expecting. maybe you can go like, you know what? I know that my spouse really likes, I don't know, oranges. I'm going to go get them some oranges and just bring them home. It's little things like that that can really begin to change a person's heart. Little tiny things like that. Am I perfect at this? No, I'm not. I do try. There are some days where I forget to try because I've got some business to take care of or some tasks I have to do, and I get consumed with those. I work in a very creative, what do you call it? A business. Yeah, I work in a very, so a lot of my work that I do, I got to start with a blank page every day. I've got to create things out of whole cloth every single day, a drawing, a song, or a script, whatever it is.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking about that as opposed to her needs and all that sort of thing. So that can get in the way, and I've got to learn how to curb that. You and I, and then this goes for Julieann and myself, just speaking for us, we don't have a lot of date nights. People go, don't you guys have a date night? We're like, well, not really, because we teach Bible study at night on Wednesdays. We're together every night, sitting at our kitchen table, working or talking or ministering to somebody, or at home working out. We just started a workout program.
Yeah, together for the first time ever.
And by the way, her idea, but in this case, I could have fought and went, I'm not working out. I don't want to work out on a Monday night, but I went, you know what? I'm going to work out.
Okay, and that's really good.
It's important to her. And to be honest with you, I've ended up liking it. I've made myself like it, and I'm getting
benefiting from it.
Of course, yeah, I am. Can't you guys see how ripped I am? Look.
Well,
Strong.
Can I just say this? What really sucks is that we're doing the same workout, and the next morning he has a 12-pack, and I don't.
I don't have a 12-pack.
He does have a 12-pack.
No, and I'm not going to reveal it here on the live stream.
Oh my God, he does naturally.
Doing that, no.
And I don't. And I'm like, I don't understand this. I don't
She's
get
beautiful. She looks amazing, and
I don't have even a 6-pack.
Well,
I'm trying to. I'll settle for a 3-pack right now.
I just like a woman who is in very good shape. That's all. And you're very good. And by the way,
thank you.
I like all people, but when your wife works out and keeps herself in shape, that's a wonderful thing to see. And the fact that you're healthy, I just want you healthy. That's all.
Yeah, and you know what? That was always I think the working out was always a big problem between you and I. I love doing it. I love spending lots of time doing it. Butch did not. And so it was
lots of time.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I wasn't. I mean, I am guilty of that.
No, but
I spent a lot of hours at the gym.
But I had to learn how to deal with that, because it was one of those things where I went, okay, I'm going to try and make this work. I'm going to go to this gym, and I'm going to get in shape and all this. And I actually got in really good shape going to this gym. I did. Okay, someone's got a question here. Often see Christian marriages. 1 second. Here's the question. Often see Christian marriages, wife takes the load in the name of ministry. Have a friend whose husband travels and busy doing ministry work. Can see it's hard on her, but she stays. So you're saying the woman does the brunt of the. She says it's all for God. Thoughts? Okay.
Well, here's the thing. This is just, again, I'm sure it's going to make some people mad, but this is what.
Oh, let's just keep making people.
Let's make people mad.
Let's keep doing it.
I just feel like you should not be without your spouse. I just don't. You know what?
If one of you is traveling here and one of you is traveling here, and you say it's for God, it really isn't, because God doesn't want you separate.
God wants you together.
There might be occasions where one of you has to go, and that's
occasionally.
Yeah.
But you know what? There was a guy one time I heard on the radio. He wrote a book called Road Rage, and it was him on the road, and it was for all the good reasons. But
I'm going out for the Lord. I'm going out there to minister.
He ended up becoming, started watching pornography, and then started having the women, the real women in, and it just almost ruined their marriage. Well, they obviously the wife found out
because he was alone, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. It's like we can say a lot of things like, oh, it's for, for the Lord. But we got to be careful of that, because the Lord would not want, first of all, the Lord does not want to take you away from your children. And the Lord, I don't believe the Lord wants to take you away all the time from your spouse. That is a personal opinion. You can hate me. You can write any kind of mail you want, but that's a personal opinion. I don't think that the Lord wants you away from your children.
Now, coming up here in the next couple of weeks, I've got to go to a men's retreat that I agreed to go to. Looking forward to it. And in that case, it's a men's only retreat. It's 2
days. She's
gone to women's only retreats. And in those sort of cases, that's fine, as long as you know you're coming back to your spouse. But it's the weeks and months away from each other. We knew a couple fairly recently where we would never see them together, and they would say, my husband, my wife. And I didn't even know they were married, to be honest with you. I didn't know this one individual was married. I said, you're married? Oh yeah, I'm totally married. I went, I didn't even know that, because I never saw these people together. And it was just interesting to me. And then even after that was brought up, I still never saw them together.
I know.
And then, it didn't end well. But long story short, listen, if you're married to your spouse who you love, there's got to be a way for you to find something in common you can work together on.
Yeah, we've sat, this is funny, but we've sat before and went, okay, what physical thing could we do? Well, we could golf. It's like, I don't really.
We both thought, okay, we could do golf, because golfing, men and women golf, it's sort of, it's a very low impact. We could go and, and there's tons of golf courses. I've never really been a golfer, but I'm willing to learn.
Well, golf was like, I mean, I have no desire, and I'm sure it's an amazing sport, but I just don't have a desire to do it. Then we thought, what if we got bikes? And I'm like, no, because I've seen too many people almost get killed on a bicycle.
I bought her a bike once and she hated it. I thought she would
love it.
Because it was physical. It was physical. I thought she would like it.
What else is there? What else is there to do? And so that's a problem. I mean, you can go archery shooting.
You could just go do archery.
Yeah, do archery. Yeah. And we come up with those ideas. But we just
shooting, we could go shoot guns.
Right, because we have those.
Exactly.
No, we don't. But what I'm saying is that there are things that you can do, but you just have to make an attempt to do it. And you know what? A lot of times we get lazy, honestly. Yeah. We're like, oh, he's always there. We're always going to have time. But I don't ever want to, this is like my pet peeve. I never want to live in regret. And living in regret means, what you didn't do that maybe you wanted to do. Having my mom live with us is very interesting. She's 83 years old. Mm-hmm. And I just look at her and I see how, with her life, how the things that she wish she would have done and the things that she wish she wouldn't have done.
Because she does mention those things quite a bit. She'll mention things.
But what I'm saying is that what I like, how I have benefited off of that is that, like, wait a minute, I'm not going to get to our 80s and say, why didn't we do this or why didn't we do that? I want to go and live life to the fullest with you, no matter what that looks like, because I'm not going to live in regret and wish, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yep, I agree. And I'm the same way. I mean, we try everything. If God tells us to do something, we try it. I mean, we'll never say no. We'll always give it a shot. And has everything worked? No, I think more things haven't worked than have worked. But the 4 or 5 things that have worked really well, and they've enabled us to keep trying things that may or may not work. Because when they work really well, you sort of live off of you sort of build off of the mistakes you've made. Okay,
right.
And that's really what you do. I'm not going to do that again. Not doing that again. Not doing that again. What's great about this new project we just started, we were able to just start it because of all the experience I had in cartoons, before. And you're learning all the stuff about the cartoon industry now. This woman's an amazing financial record keeper now. You should see.
Well, I do that with other things, but never. Well, not never.
But the skills you've acquired in managing finances, both of us became grown-ups. And that's the other thing too. When you're married, I want to point this out as well. Yes, chronologically, we're in our 50s, but there's a lot of people, and we could have been these people, that are in their 50s that are not grown-ups. They do not act like grown-ups. They act like people that are 15, 16 years old, even though their bodies have aged. Yeah. We decided a long time ago, we're going to become adults, and we're going to do adult things and make adult decisions, because those decisions are going to affect the legacy of the people behind us, namely our children, their children, our families, that sort of thing. I don't want to leave this earth without leaving an inheritance. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And that's what the Bible says. I don't want to be a person that doesn't leave anything behind. That's just me. But
that's something that you have to plan. You can't just wait to the last minute. And that's one thing that I have to say we've always agreed on, is what we were going to leave as a legacy for, people after, for kids after, especially the kids, and for our own children. And so that's something that I we both highly recommend that you do. You start writing out a mission statement for your family and a vision statement. So the mission is what you're going to do. The vision is how you're going to do it. Write something out. Let somebody else see that and be able to run with it. Because Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision down, make it plain on tablets, so that he who reads it will run with it. And so that is really important as a couple to write down what's the Hartman family legacy that they want to leave.
Right. And guys, we're not talking about just money. We're not sitting here going, it's got to be money. Money's nice. If you have money to leave people, that's wonderful. But you've also got to teach them how to use the money. You've got to teach them wisely how to use the money. Leaving an inheritance takes sacrifice on your part because you've got to train people up in what you learned. We all have to leave something behind. Oh, by the way, Tyler here says, my friend Tyler says, now you got to teach her how to draw. Oh, okay.
No,
Tyler, I've tried. We've tried, buddy. And she's just not interested.
Not as good as you, Tyler.
Not as good as you. And she's just not interested. And that's okay. We've tried. But, it takes a certain discipline or not discipline, but like certain mindset to want to sit and draw for hours. It's a whole different
and that's where the title comes in. What does my wife think?
Why doesn't my spouse think like me? But listen, guys, as we got older and became grown-ups, and grown-ups figure a way around the problem. Immature people stamp their feet and yell and scream and want it their way and they storm off. That's what, and listen, I have acted that way a million times.
Acted both sides.
Yes, I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I've done that a million times. It's been my way or the highway a lot, and I've messed up huge.
Fortunately, he doesn't do that much anymore.
Hopefully,
he wouldn't get anywhere.
That's true.
That and so question, like when I don't agree with you on something, do you want me to argue the point, or do you want me to talk the point? Do you want me just to say how? Because that's one thing that's why I said,
look at my face is pink and my hand is white. What am I multicolored or something?
And
I have different tints.
And I'm yellowish green.
Oh, we didn't turn off the green screen.
Don't worry about it. I don't have the hair.
Oh, because you're green. No, because your green shirt would vanish.
Yeah. So we already did. But what are those things?
What things?
What that I want you to tell me?
Oh, as far as like what you want you to argue the point? Or,
yes.
I don't want you to ever argue. I spend my day trying not to have you argue with me. I spend my day going, okay, I am just going to be the best husband possible. I don't always get there. I'm going to be the best person possible. Definitely don't always get there. But I just want to do things as good as possible so that the marriage and the business and everything and the ministry can continue to
Does
grow.
it make you feel like inferior or something when you've done something and I've now said, oh, here's how you do it better?
Inferior?
Well, like you feel like, oh, well, she doesn't think that I can do this. She doesn't think I can handle it. What happens with that? Because a lot of men don't want to be told what to do.
Okay. It's too, no, I'm not saying you tell me what to do. Sometimes if you tell me something's not going well and you can do it better, I'll say, sure, you can do it right now. Years ago, I would have been like, I can do this. But I got to admit, there's so many things I didn't know going into life or marriage or relationship. I mean, I came out to California from Michigan wanting to be a cartoonist in the animation industry when I was 18 years old. Knew nothing about California, knew nothing about the animation industry, nothing about girls, nothing about relationships. And I learned all of it. Still learning. Then we had kids, knew nothing about that. We had to learn. And you and I didn't have much family to help raise our kids either. It was just you and me.
No, I had my one sister here and my mom had moved when
we
had our older daughter.
We had a little bit of help for a very short amount of time. And then we had to learn all that on our own.
Right. So again, there was no directions that came with each kid.
No.
And
there wasn't a set of instructions.
There wasn't a set of instructions.
Which you wish there were.
Well, even about how to be married either. We didn't have any of that stuff. And so there wasn't like what we have right now on the internet where we could just Google, how do I have a better marriage? And something pops up. So we had to really learn from our own experience. That's why we are trying to relay our own experience to you as well. One thing I want to say is that I know a lot of husband and wives, they won't show their affection towards each other. It's like they know they love each other, but the affection part is they just don't show the affection.
It's lacking.
Yeah, or they just don't do it. But it's like, why not? That is your spouse. Like they're all over their kids. But when it comes to their husband, they won't acknowledge him. They won't or her. They won't kiss her or whatever, or treat her like whatever. I don't even know, like. Well, like a girlfriend,
Well, I was going to say there was one person I heard say, treat your wife like your girlfriend, and or women act like a girlfriend and husbands act like a boyfriend. Because when you're dating someone for the first time, you're all over each other and you're very affectionate. Yeah. But see, it's so interesting. I do want to ask God when I do finally get to talk with him face to face in heaven. The whole marriage thing, Lord. Now, okay, marriage is between a man and woman. We know that, but the time factor. We first get married, it's all exciting.
The time factor.
Well, I mean, no one prepares you for the time factor because No,
Death do you part?
no. What I mean is, you got to get to know each other over these years, over
Oh,
decades.
yes.
You and I have been married for decades now.
3.
And yes, which is plural decades with an S. But we don't understand, like when you're 27, well, when I'm 57, I'm still going to be with the same person. A lot of changes happen in that time.
Yes.
And you've got to learn how to make those changes or nothing is going to work, guys. And I just want to sum it up like this. Just stop being all about you. And I'll say it over and over again. We've got to stop being all about us. And we've got to learn how to make it about the other person. And that goes for everything in life, not just marriage. It's about, even when you're out, walking into Starbucks and you open the door for someone, you're racing to the door to get them for somebody else. And then you open the door and let them go in first. Little things like that will make a whole difference in your life and make a difference in the life of somebody else too.
Well, and also too, just recently, Butch started opening up doors for me, like the car door.
Because she yelled at me, I had to open up the car door.
Well, no, it's like, shouldn't he have thought of that before? But
I did when I was younger. I would do it.
Hold on, but here's your defense. I also was like, this tough girl that no one was going to get, a one up on. So I would always make sure that, I shut my own door and I put my own jump.
Where'd that come from? The whole tough girl
I did all
thing?
that stuff. Well, where did your part come from where you didn't want to pull a chair out for a woman?
I wasn't raised with girls. I wasn't used to it.
Well, I know, but see, your father didn't teach you
how to treat
a woman.
But that's still not his fault. That's my fault. Like I should have learned. But where'd the whole tough girl thing come from?
I'm just saying, because I was, when your mom gets divorced a couple times and, you don't necessarily want to trust your fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got boyfriends that, you don't want to give them your whole heart because then they'll have it. So you become very tough. You start to become like really Teflon.
Hardened. You get hardened.
You get hardened. And so then when the man comes who actually is going to be your husband, like Butch, I didn't know what to do because I never practiced it before. I never knew how to give my heart to somebody. I gave my heart to Jesus. That was after I got married. But before that, I was afraid to give my heart to him because I didn't want him to destroy my heart because I don't know what I would have done if he would.
No, I get it completely. And listen, my whole opening doors thing, that had to become a habit. It wasn't a habit of mine. And you are right. In a way, it was like you weren't a dainty little flower. However, doesn't matter. I should have done it anyway. So I'm learning how to do it.
But that's what okay, that's a really good point. You're trying to feed off the other person. And don't do that because the other person may be putting out false vibes at you. Like you might have been thinking that, she doesn't want me to open up the door for her. She's too tough. But I'm actually on the inside saying, I wish I could be treated more like a special woman.
A lady.
A lady.
Sonia here says, I'm always asking Patrick to hold me or hug me. He doesn't, and it frustrates me. And then she says, makes me feel lonely. Well, okay. I can certainly understand that, Sonia. And you and Patrick are amazing. We met you guys. You're awesome people. It says, let's see. Patrick says, I'm currently working 2 jobs, making sure things get done around the house. Sometimes I'm just plain exhausted.
Exactly.
And listen, guys, we completely get it.
So there's got to be communication between the two of you.
Yeah.
You can't just say, you're not meeting my needs, therefore I'm angry. I know you're not saying that, but this is for everybody.
And you understand that he is working 2 jobs and he does have a lot in his mind. And so there's got to be some give and take. And I completely get it. By the way, do this. If you're the one feeling lonely, you go initiate the hug first. Maybe try that. And if you got a lot in your mind, Patrick, there's too many things you're dealing with, maybe learn how to work in some off time into the schedule. No one understands this better than me. I've been trying to work in, not very successfully, but I've been trying to work in some time where I'm like, okay, let's just take an hour and not do anything.
And that's hard. It's a bad habit to get into.
It sure is.
Hey, listen, I'm sure that he's doing that to make ends meet. And so
absolutely, man, I get it.
And so, Butch does he loves to work. I love to work. I mean, I'm not just saying Butch is the only one. Butch is the workaholic. We both love
Guys, I think we're still going. Okay, for a second I thought we were cut.
I don't know. What did you do? Don't
Butch
touch
turned it up.
anything.
I'm not touching anything. I was trying to go through the comments, guys.
Okay,
I'm really sorry
let
about that.
me do that. So yeah, I don't know what just happened. Y'all still there? Let us know.
Yeah, I know they're saying, Debbie says, where'd you go? I don't know. Butch turned it off. I didn't mean to turn it off. I just touched the computer. I was trying
We're back.
I was trying to scan through the comments like we've been. It never said we got shut off. Oh, we're
Okay,
back.
yes.
Okay, yes, we're back. Thank you, everybody. This is called
Live.
Butch doesn't get to touch the computer. Everyone says
No.
back, still here. Thanks, guys, for still
Okay,
being
great.
here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for still being here.
But like Butch said, though, you have to communicate. Patrick and Sonia, you've got to communicate that to each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, it might take you 6 months to say, well, I need you, to hug me more. I need you to hold me more. And he says, well, I need you to help me out and give me more time because I'm working those 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And let's say that conversation goes back and forth, for the next 6 months, but you've got to come to some agreement. You've got to start finding what is it that you'll give and I'll give at the same time. Not like, you're going to give 100 and I'm going to give 90. No, we're both going to give 100 at the same time.
Yep.
But what is it that we can give of ourselves? Trust me, yes, we work and we make money to work when we work. It's not like we just work because we like it. And yeah, we do like it, but it's not just because we're working to work. We are working towards things. We are working towards goals that we've set with each other.
Yeah, we're trying.
We want to do.
Yeah, and we have very ambitious goals.
Very
the
big.
2 of us, and the goals that we have require a lot of time. They require a lot of planning, strategy. They require a lot of partnership, a lot of teamwork, things like that. And the Lord's really placed it on our hearts to do that because there's no way I could do what I want to do right now without her.
And there's no way I could do what I do without him. I mean, there's no way. But let me just go back into some more, deep stuff with you. So before we started working together, you were kind of solo. You were always kind of doing, because you're at Nickelodeon, so you're doing your own thing.
Well, yeah, I go to work every day.
Well, I know that. But when I would want to somehow involve myself in your work, you weren't always very responsive with that. It was more like, that's what that's my thing.
I didn't know how you were going to involve yourself in my work.
Well, I don't know. Like even just, I couldn't have.
Well, yeah, there was no way to come and work
draw,
there.
So.
Well, right. Well, it doesn't mean drawing. There's all kinds of other things to be done at Nickelodeon. But you never had an interest in doing that because we had our beautiful daughters. You were raising them at home.
See, when you say that, though, I did have an interest because I have an interest in you. I had an interest in what you were doing.
But did you want to come to work 9 to 5?
No, because I was raising the girls. But I always felt like you felt like I didn't care about what you did. And that wasn't that's how I always felt that you felt about me. And I never felt that way. And it was really hard to communicate that to him because I didn't know how to communicate that. I didn't know how to tell him that. We would always end up more like in an argument because I didn't know how to, lovingly say, look, I want to be a part of what you're doing. But we've got the girls and our girls are very active and we're doing all these things.
You were always involved whenever we would do like a premiere of a show or a movie or something. You were always involved in that, or rap parties. Like on a daily basis, it was very hard because I'd have to go to Burbank to work at the studio all the time. And that was just tricky to have you do that because that's not something we could just slid you in.
Did you ever feel like it was, and I know when I was sick, you probably felt this way, like this is my own little thing here, so I don't want you there.
When you were sick, we would deal with the sickness when I was at home, and we would deal with it during the day too, but it was sort of a great little reprieve when I go to work because I got to write comedy all day and sort of have fun making my cartoon. Not that I was trying to escape that. I always come back home. I would never leave.
Always
I'd be 9 to 5, always come back home. But yeah, that was a good little reprieve. And praise God, the cartoon kept going at that time.
Yeah.
There was a time where my Nickelodeon job was going to end around 2010. I remember they were cutting everything off that I was doing. Not because of me. They were just like, yeah, we're done. Thanks. And I just prayed saying, Lord, I really need this job to keep going. And things started picking up again. It was really awesome. And got really blessed in that way. But guys, listen, we got to wrap this up. And gosh, did anyone get anything out of this today? I know we cut off for 5 seconds there. I apologize. I wasn't trying to cut us off.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I was trying to scan through the comments. It was weird.
We've got a whole list of topics that we want to talk about.
What do you guys want to hear?
But we want to know what you all want to hear.
Yeah.
What you want us to talk about because this is not just for Butch and I. We can sit without the camera on and talk about our relationship. We don't need to talk about it publicly. But if there is things that you guys want to talk about, please let's do that, because that way people are going to get healed. People are going to get helped. You know, one thing that I will bring up before we go is that there's always I think that the biggest problem between a couple is a communication issue.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where maybe the woman, you know, has been the stay-at-home mom and doesn't feel like she is a part of, you know, the professional life of the husband. That can go either way, where the husband's the stay-at-home dad and doesn't feel like they're a part of it. You know, when you're home with I was home with the girls, sometimes it'd be like, you know, I just wanted to talk about more adult things because
I hear that a lot.
Kids.
Yeah, parents with kids all day long.
Yeah, you're with kids all day.
Adult.
I want to talk to an adult. I want to hear some stuff.
Yep.
But yet the man has already been working all day, or the husband, or whatever, the spouse, and they don't feel like talking about adult stuff. They just want to like veg on the couch or something, or just go play with the kids. So we always got to make sure that we are communicating, whatever way that is. And
Sure.
I know that, like I said before, there's a lot of men and women out there that get very nervous when it comes to that. But that's something that will kill a relationship if there isn't communication. So I just want to encourage you all to start those conversations with each other, get those conversations going. Don't hold any kind of animosity towards each other.
Try not to. And guys,
that'll ruin everything.
Yeah. And thank you for all your comments. We see all of them. We can't answer all of them in the time that we have. Some of them are a little more involved than others, but keep writing the comments. Keep watching Healing Journeys Today. Don't forget about the Healing Journeys Today conference. When is it again? October when?
Oh, October 15th and 16th.
Yeah, and
6 to 9, and Saturday 9 to 6.
And what's the name of the place?
It's called Faith Impact.
No,
Church.
I mean the city.
Georgetown, Texas.
Georgetown,
yes.
Texas, yes.
And it's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to be with you all, and it's going to be awesome. So we thank you guys so much, and we're just really excited that we get to meet here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, because we feel that this was something very necessary. So we're going to keep on pushing through till we start seeing some results.
Someone says, is there an email we can mail questions to or topics we want you to cover?
Yes, you can go to healingjourneystoday.com.
Yes, healingjourneystoday.com and mail your questions.
Or actually, I think there's healingjourneystoday@gmail.com is where you can actually ask a question.
Okay, so do it that way.
But if you can't find that, go to healingjourneystoday.com and there'll be a place.
And once we post this video, you can then comment on the video and leave a comment there as well. We'll see that later too.
Yeah, we love you guys. We thank you so much, and we will see you. I'll see you on Tuesday. Well, actually, I'll see you Saturday for the journey. Then I'll see you Tuesday morning.
That's right.
And then we'll see you Wednesday
next
night
Wednesday.
again. All right, love you guys.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a wonderful week. God bless you all.